about your health, and joining me now is Dr. Stephen Wander. He is the owner of Integrated Health Center of Maryland. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. So you say there's a 97% chance that you are being treated for a disease you don't actually have. Walk me through what that is and why that is.
Well, when I was a little kid, I went to lunch with my grandparents. First thing my grandmother did, she laid out 13 pills, and I was like, why all the pills? And she said, well, baby, the first one, that's for my thyroid, and the second one, that's for my pressure, and the third one, that's for my sugar, and the fourth one's for the side effects of number 1, and the fifth one, that's for the side effects of number 2, and on and on. And eventually, she had her thyroid removed, and basically, she passed away 2 months after that. And so I started to get really interested, and now basically the research says 97% of women diagnosed with low thyroid don't have low thyroid. They have an autoimmune disease which attacks the thyroid.
So it's become very personal for you. Talk to me then about how a patient is going to know the difference between the two, because you say the symptoms are very similar.
Yeah, the symptoms are similar. Its common symptoms are inability to lose weight despite good diet and exercise, extreme fatigue, hair loss, so when they brush their hair is winding up in the brush, brain fog. That's why I have this Boomerang. There's a software called Boomerang where you can schedule emails in the morning, and then they get emailed out later in the afternoon, because women are downloading this because their bosses don't think they have to think they're working later in the afternoon. And so the symptoms are very similar. So what women need to be what needs to be done is they need to properly get tested.
And what is the proper test for that?
Well, most women are just tested for TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, or maybe some might be tested for T3 and T4. That's not even close to a full thyroid panel. And so if their TSH is off, they're going to be put on the most prescribed medication in America, 23 million a month, levothyroxine or Synthroid, but yet they're still having all the symptoms.
Okay, so at that point then, are they really dealing with an autoimmune disease?
Well, once they
just don't know it?
They need to get tested. That's the only way. And then once they get tested, then if they're positive, that medication won't help that. So they need to get then a customized individual testing. There's saliva testing, there's genetic testing, there's cardiovascular testing, there's food sensitivity testing, there's stool testing. And based on those individual results from the testing, you can build a customized treatment plan from the ground up based on the individual patient's issues, not just they have too little of Synthroid or levothyroxine in their body, so then that's going to be their treatment plan. And that's when women get very, very frustrated. And all the research says 97% of women diagnosed with low thyroid issue don't have that. They have this autoimmune disease.
And so what you're saying is a lot of people do get frustrated because they're thinking, I'm still experiencing these symptoms and I've taken this medication and I've been diagnosed, but nothing's working. And that's because they're being treated for the wrong thing.
Exactly. And they're not alone. There's many celebrities, Oprah, Hillary, Jillian Michaels, Sofia Vergara. They're not alone. And so even if you're a celebrity, you might be being treated for an incorrect disease. And how in the world can you actually get healthy if you have the wrong diagnosis?
Okay, so what are some questions that women should be asking then of their doctor when they go in for their annual blood testing or their annual exam?
They should ask for a full thyroid panel. They should ask to be tested for this autoimmune disease. Now, the problem is even the small amount of women who are diagnosed properly with this disease, their treatment plan is the same. Levothyroxine and Synthroid. So it's not just only getting a proper diagnosis, but it's finding someone who can then look as a person and not just a bunch of different parts making up a person, and build that customized treatment plan from the ground up. And there's very few doctors who can do that, and it's very important that they do it.
And so if there are very few doctors who can do that, what should we be looking for? What kind of doctor?
A functional medicine doctor. A functional medicine doctor basically will try to find the causes of all your issues, not just cover up the symptoms. I call that's the pill for an ill model. I have this ill, take this pill, see you in 3 months.
Right. Okay, great advice. Thank you so much. Very important. If you'd like more information, the website is dcfunctionalmedicine.org. Doctor, thank you for being here. More Arizona Daily Mix right after this.